What's up guys, it's Shane here from House of Cards TCG, coming to you with a deck profile that I'm super excited about. We got Virtual World. I think I finally found the perfect ratios to make this deck consistent. Spoiler alert, Pot of Prosperity really helps this deck, and I think it really pushes it over the top, and VFD is one hell of a card. So let's jump right into it.
House of Cards TCG.
So the first thing we have is the heart and soul of the deck. We got triple Lulu. This is kind of the linchpin. Gets ashed, more often than not if the opponent has it. It's a good spot to ash at, but it sends one obviously to the grave and adds one to hand. So really great card. 2 Nyan Nyan and one of the new one, 2/2. And I like this ratio a lot because you're not seeing it in your hand as much. It's not a brick as often. Next thing is 3 Lily, standard, 3 Lao Lao, again, standard, excellent card. 3 Gigi, we want to max out on these Virtual World monsters. So that's the Virtual World monster lineup. Next we have the hand traps. We're running triple Ash Blossom. It's the most generic right now. It hits the most. I really like seeing Ash. I don't want to see 2 in the same hand because it's once per turn, obviously. But triple Ash, we run 3 Gamma. Gamma's really good in this deck. What more can you say? Negate and destroy a monster effect. The 1 driver. And here's where the spice comes in. I'm playing triple infinite impermanence. And the reason for that is it still does punch really hard. And the best part of it right now is your opponent will not be expecting it. No one's going to be expecting an imperm. So if you come out with the imperm, you can really stun them, and you've essentially made a high impact play right there. So let's get into the spells. 3 Kowloon, obviously use it to get a Virtual World Gate out on the field, extremely important for the deck. We only ran 2 Qinglong, and the reason is because I'm not playing Desires. So no Desires in this deck at all. That cuts my probability. I can't banish it. So it doesn't hurt me I don't need to see it in the hand. You don't necessarily want to see it in the hand. You want to see it in the grave. So playing 2, I felt like was more optimal. And the reason is because we subbed in Pot of Prosperity for the Desires. And I think it's a much better card for the deck because, like I said, you want to see the Lulu, and Prosperity gives you a really good likelihood to see the Lulu, excavating 6 cards. So I prefer the Prosperity. I know I hear a lot of people saying 2 is more than 1 with Desires, and that's true. 2 is more than 1, but sometimes with this Virtual World deck, there's just a certain card you need in your hand, and being able to excavate 6 just gives you a higher probability of seeing that specific card. Next is Foolish Burial Goods, and I played this at 3 because I think it really maximizes the consistency of the deck. When I was playtesting, this was my number 1 concern, was just bricking with your first hand. And I considered putting in Skill Drain for that reason. If you brick but you draw the Skill Drain, you kind of set that, you can probably buy yourself a turn or 2 if they don't have a way to deal with it. But I'd rather just maximize the consistency and get that Foolish Burial Goods, send the Qinglong to the grave, and get the search out of it. It's also, not bad to use with the new Virtual World Gate, Janwu. So I played 2 of the Janwu, 2 of the Chuche. I played 1 of the Janwu, 2 of the Chuche, excuse me. And I think that's the proper ratio. You don't, grind game, you'd rather see the Chuche than the Janwu. But Janwu is a really good combo piece extender. And to top it off, we do 1 Called by the Grave. I think it's mandatory in this deck. So prone to hand traps, Ash. Lancia really punishes this deck. So if you can Called by the Lancia, you've kind of taken the breath out of your opponent, and you're probably going to win that one. So that sums up the main deck. Let's go into the extra deck. So first, let's get into the Xyz monsters. So I play the Gossip Shadow, Fortune Tune, and a Downward Magician. And that gets me into the Zeus. So I really like Zeus in this deck. I like Zeus in any deck that plays Xyz. It's just a really overpowered card, being able to send everything to the graveyard more than once per chain. So yeah, really like Zeus. I also play Utopia Beyond as an out to Dragoon. I think what we saw from the Remote Duel Invitational, Dragoon is just such a good card, and if you don't have an out to it, you can be in trouble. So having the Utopia Beyond gives you some flexibility with an out there. I do the Ptolemy M7. I think it's a really great card. A lot of people are cutting it. I don't know why. And 2 Calamities, obviously. That's your boss monster, your win condition most of the time. It's gonna hurt when this card gets banned, because I think it will. Wishful thinking, they may put it to 1 and maybe ban Cloud Castle, and that'll hurt the deck quite a bit, but still make it playable, which I think probably is the better route. So we play 2 Cloud Castle. Obviously, needless to say, it revives a Synchro, level 9. Doesn't have to be Synchro, level 9. And then we play the 1 Shen, I think it's all you need, 1 Croco Dragon, 1 Vermilion Dragon Mech, 1 Stardust Charge Warrior, and 1 YUGIOH. There's a lot of good options for extra deck monsters in this deck, Virtual World. It has a lot of flexibility. I had a lot of other ones I was considering, such as Beatrice, Enter Blathnir, Breaksword, Coral Dragon, Chao Fang, but I felt like this build gave me the most high impact. I don't think you need the Chao Fang anymore with the increased consistency of the new cards. So yeah, let me know what you think down below, and let's get into some test hands. So guys, if you can let me know down below if anything I did here was suboptimal, or if there's anything you would have done differently. And always looking to learn and grow, and this deck has a lot of really complicated play lines, so definitely let me know what your thoughts are. So let's deal ourselves 5 here. Prosperity, Nyan, Ash, Called By, and Lily. So from here, let's go ahead and normal summon the Yan, and then activate the effect of Lily from hand, targeting the Nyan to special summon it to dump. Let's go ahead and dump our Searcher. Qinglong. And then once we hit the board, we're gonna dump our Chuche as well. Then from there, we'll activate the effect of Qinglong to banish itself, and then add a Lulu from deck to hand. And then we're gonna have to discard one. So let's go ahead and discard the Ash. Difficult decision, but I think it's the right one. And then we will activate the Lulu, targeting the Nyan to special summon itself. And then we get to dump one and add one. So let's go ahead and dump the Jianwu. And then add the Kowloon. So from there, we'll activate the Kowloon. That will allow us to set face up the Chuche. Don't get that confused with my hand here. And then let's go ahead and synchro. And we're gonna synchro into the Ravenous Croco Dragon. That allows us to draw one. Got an ash back. So then from there, we are going to want to banish the Jianwu. And then target our Lulu and special summon it. And then we can banish the Chuche to modify the level. So turn him into a level 6. And then we can synchro into our Shen. And then we can exceed summon into our True King of All Calamities. So we did all of that. We got a True King of All Calamities with a Chuche on board. And we still have in hand a Prosperity, a Called by the Grave, and an Ash Blossom for next turn. So there probably are more intricate combos that you can do, technically. This one just shows you how to get out that VFD. We still have 3 cards in hand. We still have a Chuche pop. And we still have a really good setup for next turn. So let me know down below what kind of combos that you would have done with this hand. If there's anything that I could have done more optimally. Like I said, definitely learning this deck still a little bit. And make sure to subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this deck profile. We really do appreciate you, and it really does help us. So Shane, House of Cards TCG, signing out.